I think one misconception clients have is this whole thing we talk about, like top 3 or die, right? It makes all the difference when you work with a client who kind of knows the game, when they understand that it's an investment of time.
How often sort of day-to-day is watching what competitors do a part of the job?
It is a big part of the job. Not even specifically for iGaming. You have to constantly be on top of what your competitors are publishing content-wise.
Yeah.
What we've seen a lot of now is that SERPs are hugely volatile. Rankings are so up and down.
What are people getting wrong about AI in SEO?
People need to get over this theory that you can just generate whatever you want and chuck it on your site and get results.
Hi guys, welcome to the latest iGaming SEO show podcast episode. I'm Dylan at Big Pond and this is Alan that I'm here with.
Don't sound too enthusiastic.
We haven't actually done an episode together yet, so this is very unusual, but yeah, I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, people are going to be wondering where it's kind of weird not seeing Ari's face on this.
I know, he's the face of the podcast at this point.
We're getting sick of him.
I know, all these clips of Ari across the internet at this point.
No, I'm sure after I've been talking for 10 minutes, they'll be wanting Ari back. So.
We want Ari back as a campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for this episode, we're really trying to peel back the curtain on what it's like day to day to work in iGaming SEO agency. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, some context straight away, if anyone's new to this, we are based in Ayr on the west coast of Scotland, but we have a lot of iGaming clients that are based across the world, basically. So we're taking video calls all the time with people based in Europe, Canada, South Africa. So yeah, we definitely punch above our weight. Which is
small agency with big results. That's what we are.
Exactly.
That's what we stand by.
100%. But I mean, we'll just get into it. So, what in your role do you do at Big Pond day to day?
So I've been working at Big Pond for, gosh, I actually forget now. Almost 8 years, I think. 9 years. Yeah. It's funny because people always ask me that, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how long it is. I think it was 2017 is when I started.
Yeah.
But basically, there's obviously a lot to SEO, but my main focus really for clients are really content and technical. Mm-hmm. So a bit of link building on the side as well, but mainly the content and tech stuff. Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously, when it comes to what my actual position is, it's basically SEO Manager.
SEO Manager. Senior at this point.
Yeah. All right. Don't make me sound too old.
Not age-wise, but quality of experience-wise.
Exactly. But no, I mean, really, I manage clients on a day-to-day basis, making sure that they're ranking for what they want in the locations that they want. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the content, the technical stuff, I mean, obviously, anyone who knows SEO listening to this will know that trying to rank with content is getting harder and harder. So you have to basically look at it and sometimes even refresh it every day.
Yeah.
All depends on the client and the industry. Without trying to waffle on too much, basically my job is to make sure clients' content on their site is up to date and technically their websites are working well. So, and obviously the job naturally involves checking rankings on a daily basis, making sure nothing's dropped, checking traffic, conversions, all that kind of stuff, making sure they're getting their sales, appointments, bookings, whatever it is. So
that was going to be my question, was to sort of peel back what you do on a day-to-day basis. Like, what does a typical day look like for you?
I mean, you're going to hear this phrase a lot. You're going to hear the phrase "it depends" quite a lot because it really does. I mean, for every client, it's more or less the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, content is content, but how you write that and how you approach it differs per client. Yeah, obviously. We're obviously going to chat a lot about iGaming on this. iGaming content is very specific and it has to be written a certain way. Whereas content for something, say like a doctor or a dentist, has to be written a very, very different way. But it all comes under the kind of content umbrella, if you like. So on the content side, it's basically doing a lot of research, writing a lot, trying to write for specific keywords that we obviously want to rank for. And on the technical side, it's more about just checking stuff like making sure the website can get crawled effectively.
Can Google even see what you're doing?
Google can see what you're doing, making sure it's fast, easy to use, user-friendly, all that kind of stuff. All the things that help towards SEO.
Yeah.
So.
Thinking back to what you were just saying, like you couldn't even remember how long ago it was. What kind of attracted you to it in the first place? SEO?
Well, the funny thing is, nothing.
No, like you've been
so basically, how I got into the industry is quite interesting. Like I didn't know anything about SEO before I applied for this job, and I'd just finished uni, which I did IT, wasn't even marketing. But basically I was just out there looking for a job, saw the post locally online, and I kind of read a little bit about it, and it was only really when I read the job description that it kind of occurred to me, like, that actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you Google stuff every day, but you don't really think about how that stuff gets there.
Exactly.
You just Google it and see results and go, okay, I'll go with that one. So when I heard that the job was about actually doing work to get those results,
influencing
I thought, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Thankfully, I was lucky in the sense that Ari was kind of looking for someone who didn't really know much about it at all, because he was looking for someone to kind of bring on and train up and introduce to it. And as the days, weeks, months, and years went on, I got more and more interested in it. So,
and here you are.
Here I am. Yeah. How many years later, we don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a guess of
it's a total guess.
8+ maybe. I think I'm 6. 2020 I joined.
It's good
I'm not 6 years old. I joined 6 years ago.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think you were probably like 3 years before me.
I'll work out one day. Yeah.
But building on that, did you actually expect then to work in iGaming specifically if you didn't even know obviously what SEO was?
No, not at all. No, and I couldn't have told you what iGaming was. I'm as much as I know about casinos and sportsbooks now, I personally myself am not a bettor. I don't really gamble. I don't bet on sports.
Me neither.
I'm interested in sports, just don't bet on them, mainly because I'm scared of losing money.
Yeah, I know.
But I couldn't have told you anything about iGaming. Obviously, for my first, say, probably 4 or 5 years working in SEO, I didn't work in iGaming at all. Well, maybe a little bit, but very, very minor. I started out working for just local clients, so your very small businesses, like finance, as I said, like local dentists, lawyers, all that kind of stuff. Just much smaller businesses. It's only really been in the last 3 or 4 years that we've really expanded into iGaming.
Yeah.
But since we've done so, it's been great. I've really kind of learned how big an industry it is. I always knew it was a big industry, but it's really when you go in deeper into it, and you look at these conferences that you go to and everything, and it's massive. Like it's
crazy.
It's a crazy industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, that does mean that if you're trying to get in the space online, it is very competitive and it's tricky. But it's all part of the challenge. So.
And Ari had obviously done that before you joined for like years,
for sure.
He had that background anyway.
He's an old iGaming wizard.
He'd be raging at the old, maybe Gandalf could be.
Yeah. Oh, I call him that all the time. He won't care. But no. In all seriousness, obviously Ari is super experienced when it comes to all things iGaming. So I guess it was only expected that I was eventually going to end up working in it.
Totally. So. Dealing with clients, not especially in the iGaming space, but just clients in general, what do you think the kind of gap is between what they think SEO is and what it actually is? Misconceptions, anything like that?
I think the most obvious one is probably how long it takes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it makes all the difference when you work with a client who kind of knows the game, who knows SEO, and they understand that it's an investment of time. The worst thing is when you get any client who's impatient and expects results in weeks.
Yeah.
Really, that's just never ever going to work. If you want to be successful with SEO, then you need to know and understand that this is going to take this could potentially, for competitive terms, it could take you years,
Totally.
Once you know that and you understand that, then you'll obviously be more patient with it, and ultimately you'll see better results. You have to, from our side, agency side, you have to obviously be consistent with what you're doing, but it's important for the client to understand that this is something that is going to take time if you want to see decent results. So yeah.
And is there anything in particular that clients often are surprised to learn about SEO? I suppose the time frame thing is...
I'd say probably the same. I know it's a boring answer, but I think probably that.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a misconception about, say, if a client comes on board, they want to rank for a specific query or service or whatever it is, depending on how competitive it is and what market you want to actually tap into.
Yeah,
it could be a shock to them that you say to them, listen, this could take you years of investment. As I say, some clients obviously get it straight away. But that's what I'd say the biggest misconception is,
And I was going to maybe say as well that iGaming clients maybe often have a better knowledge of that coming into it than maybe like a local client or something, because as you say, a lot of people might not even know that you can influence where things are on Google, and it's an education process that we have to tell them what SEO is all about, and then also the time frame, whereas iGaming maybe already knows that it's going to be that type of competitiveness built in to the industry.
For sure. I think it just comes down to knowledge. And some clients that you work with, they might not even think about what goes on behind the scenes and really what's involved with SEO as a whole. I would say another big misconception, actually, and this is something we're going to be talking about loads, no doubt, but is probably AI now.
Of course, yeah.
So it kind of makes me laugh when you see a lot of things about how I think people say AI can do SEO. You know, you don't need that. You can get Claude or ChatGPT to do it. Sure, those things can do things for you. They can write content for you, but ultimately you need someone who is actually knowledgeable about how to implement all this stuff.
Totally.
So if you are someone who's sitting there and you don't know anything about SEO, I'm afraid to tell you that, solely relying on Claude or ChatGPT, you're probably not going to get very far, especially now that Google is getting smarter at identifying all these content patterns.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll probably talk about that more, but I think AI as a whole is a big misconception. So
agreed. What would be, you obviously deal with clients a lot, like day to day on calls and stuff. What would you ban in terms of a client phrase? Like something that SEOs say to clients, I guess. One comes to my mind, but I don't want to ban it. I'm like the opposite. I protect it, which is things are moving in the right direction.
Things are moving in the right direction. Yeah.
I know that sounds vague, but a lot of the time it's like, that is exactly what's happening.
No, it's not vague at all.
It's like, I know people...
comes back to what I said about the it depends thing.
Yeah.
It's just all these phrases that get chucked about when you work in SEO. And the funny thing is, we laugh about them and be like, oh, it's funny how you say this and say that. But they actually are valid.
Yeah, it's descriptive.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it depends to take the piss. I'm saying it depends because it's actually true.
Literally.
Same with you when it comes to things moving in the right direction. You have to constantly remind clients that things are indeed going in the right direction.
Totally.
Or
because it's such a long process as
how
well.
How would you upward trajectory? I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
It's people each to their own, really. But
yeah. Clients wise, it's good to kind of look at the reality of what we're doing day to day. And
I've just thought of another misconception. It's funny now that these are all coming back to me.
Yes.
So one thing that is important, I think one misconception clients have is this whole thing we talk about, top 3 or die, right?
I was talking about this earlier.
Yeah. So just to fill everyone in, it's basically, I don't think clients really understand that if you want to see consistent, solid results from SEO, you have to basically be in the top 3 positions. Anyone who's listening will probably know that Googling stuff themselves. If you Google something, really realistically, how far are you going to scroll through the results? And even if you do scroll to say the bottom of page 1, are you really trusting the sites that are ranked at the bottom of page 1?
Scroll back up.
Exactly. You scroll back up and probably pick one of the top 3. That obviously makes our job a bit harder because we have to rank these sites higher.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think sometimes clients might think, oh, if I'm on page one, it's
Yeah.
all good. But it's like, you're kind of halfway there.
Totally.
You know? Yeah.
And I was discussing with Ari on the other podcast that SERPs are so messy now with different things.
It's actually fucking ridiculous.
Like, it's crazy.
It is ridiculous, yeah. And again, I'm really self-conscious about using depends now, but I'm going to say it so often. But it depends on the industry that you're in. So I'm trying to think of an example. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you'll know yourself, like sometimes when you actually look at page one, you've got everything like AI, ads, map pack,
questions
in the middle. Yeah. Sometimes you'll probably have even noticed that you get sponsored results in the middle of the page as well. So, going back to when I started in the industry, you almost like never saw that. You obviously had your sponsored map pack organic, but things have changed so much now to the point where it's like, it sounds kind of depressing to say it, but it's like ranking on page one now doesn't almost feel like a massive victory in a sense, because some search results are so cluttered,
so noisy.
If you're not top 3 or number 1, honestly, you're probably not really going to get noticed.
100%, and it's a sad reality, but it's just going forward. It's probably going to be what we're considering. Do you think there's a clear difference working with iGaming clients to like ones in other industries?
Yeah, 100%. For a start, it's massively competitive.
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest thing. It's just a hugely competitive industry. The other thing is you have to be aware that when you're trying to optimize an iGaming site, you're obviously in a situation where people are gambling here with their money, you know. So you have to make sure that all the information you have on the site is as accurate as it can be. Obviously, a big part of iGaming is EAT as well, Google's content guidelines.
Which stands for?
Oh, don't put me on the spot.
Experience,
expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. Yeah.
I'm like, it's your final exam.
Yeah. I know.
The final boss.
But that plays a really, really big part, because when you think of iGaming and gambling, you think of things like making sure you have content in place for responsible gambling, mentioning that all the time.
True.
You basically just want to make sure that the site you're optimizing ticks all those boxes. I feel like sometimes with other less competitive industries, you can maybe get away with not being quite as strict with that. But I think for iGaming, whether you're writing for a casino or a sportsbook, it's quite tight, the content. You have to make sure.
Very sensitive.
It's very sensitive, yeah. You have to make sure it's all in place. So.
Especially with some of the markets we're working in, strict licensing rules and everything like that. So.
Yeah, the other big one, if you want to stray away from content, obviously, is links. We've spoken about that loads, but you know yourself, it's like, it's a completely different ballgame in iGaming. Like, you're dealing with, if you want to get into the really competitive spaces for the really competitive terms in the really competitive markets, then you're going to be dealing with sites that have colossal link profiles. So, you know, it's a completely different world from optimizing your kind of local client, if you like. Yeah,
agreed. I mean, I deal with links, obviously, on a daily basis, and it is the Wild West when it comes to links in the iGaming space specifically.
The enthusiasm in your voice there was almost like,
sounded like I was dead inside.
I know how hard it is. Don't remind me. I
was like, don't even bring it up. You're doing the talking. How often sort of day to day is watching what competitors do a part of the job?
It is a big part of the job. Not even specifically for iGaming. In SEO in general, it's a big part of the job. You have to constantly be on top of what your competitors are publishing content-wise. I suppose if you think about something like a casino, a lot of your kind of big brands, they are very, very active with publishing content. It doesn't it doesn't matter if it's like for a slot game, a category page, blog content. They kind of publish stuff all the time. And I think what we've seen a lot of now is that SERPs are hugely volatile. Rankings are so up and down that we're almost at the point now where it's like when you check on a daily basis, there's always a new name popping up.
Yeah.
You know,
page one.
So if you want to rank for online casino, for example, you want to be checking that page one result every day. Because you might either see some of your competitors dropping off, some new competitors coming on. We've obviously spoken as well about things like DMCA attacks. You know, there's a shit ton of black hat stuff going on just now. I was talking to Ari about this, who's obviously been in the game for so long, and he kind of feels like he's never seen so many black hat stuff going on at once. Yeah. So I think now more than ever, you have to be checking, you know, page one results on a daily basis to make sure that a new competitor hasn't arrived, or one of your competitors haven't dropped off, or you haven't dropped off.
Yeah, they haven't like submitted a DMCA thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a messy game out there. It's pretty cutthroat.
It's probably gonna only get worse as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like identifying loopholes and then trying to get as much out of it until Google like clamps down on it. Yeah.
That's the thing.
But now it's the DMCA thing.
Yeah. And you know what I've learned like a lot recently is that there are fucking dirty tactics out there. People will do anything.
It's crazy
to get you off and get them up even 1 or 2 positions.
Yeah.
You know, it seems, I don't know about you, but to me it seems more so in iGaming.
Yeah, even
that industry seems especially kind of bad for it, you know, like black hat stuff.
Like
people are willing to do anything to, as I say, even get 1 or 2 positions higher or make your site disappear entirely.
I think it's because it's like seen as a grey niche or like a sensitive niche. I mean, that's how it's worded when I'm buying links. Like it's almost like its own category where you've got a separate price, separate terms. A lot of webmasters are actually skeptical of even putting iGaming content on their sites these days because of algorithm updates.
Do you see that quite a lot?
Yeah. People saying, genuinely admitting to me like, we can put this post up and link, but I don't know to what scale I can keep doing it, or like if I can accept future posts or anything. They're very wary of it.
Doesn't make your job any easier.
No, it doesn't. Especially where it changes mid like transaction. So I could one day agree to buy a link with someone, then come back 2 days and they've already taken the link down, genuinely within like 48 hours, and then they say we've changed our policy overnight. And so we can't accept casino posts anymore.
Really?
And I've just bought it.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's to do with them being overly cautious based on like them not knowing if their whole site's going to get penalised by Google because it's got this association with iGaming. It's just, they almost maybe see their competitors and they're just playing it safe basically. They're like, right, we might have accepted it like last year, but now we've just seen Google updates cracking down on spam.
So do you think they're worried that it might affect their site?
Exactly, yeah.
So they don't want any
they might get de-indexed, or they don't want to have that affiliation with iGaming in general. Or if they do, they will say have like a topic that's super relevant to the site, like finance related, and then the link in it is super subtle. It's not like overly optimized anchor text saying like this online casino. It's something a lot more subtle, like this website or something. So the subtlety and
that doesn't help
the caution,
you out, does it?
It doesn't help me out when you're trying to maybe experiment with like exact match anchor texts or pushing a certain phrase. It's not the end of the world. You're still getting the link,
which do carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Which they do.
Your anchor text,
100%.
You know.
So yeah, it's kind of. I think everything feels like it's in a state of flux at the minute. With AI coming in, all the black hat stuff everyone's having to be aware of all of a sudden. Like,
I mean, we've obviously spoken a lot as well about just how volatile rankings are.
Yeah.
And it seems, I think you said the same thing, but like for as long as I've worked in the industry, I don't think I've ever seen ranking trackers look so confused.
I know, like,
it's almost
unreliable is probably the word.
It's like, I was ranking 3rd for this keyword yesterday. Why am I now not even in the top
off
100?
the index,
and then you think, oh fuck, it's gone completely, and then you log in the next day and it's like, oh no, you're number 3
it's
again.
back, and then you have to manually check it in case it's like just totally tripped out.
Yeah.
It's very, very, everything has to be kind of like taken with a pinch of salt, I would say. And then some kind of like manual.
And it doesn't make it any easier when you're trying to communicate those results to clients.
No, it really doesn't.
And there's nothing more, well, I guess it's quite embarrassing in a way when you report to a client, oh, we got you to number 3 for this keyword. They Google it from their side and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not number 3. You know? So
we almost have to put in, I mean, it's a big thing, and what we do is always have that caveat layer to it where it's like, this is a snapshot in time. It's kind of like what they say about polling all the time, like polling people. This has to be taken with a pinch of salt. It's a snapshot in time. It doesn't mean it's going to be true in like 10 minutes or on that device or in that location. It's in terms of the search being made, like it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot in our time. We've talked about it a lot, like how crazy this industry is, the iGaming space. But we want to talk about the weird stuff that nobody kind of mentions usually. What's the strangest thing that you've seen in a SERP?
You mean for iGaming?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think, you think of something. Ari said that he saw like some kind of like cancer charity ranking on like page 1 for some casino term, and it was because someone had bought the site over.
Yeah. And
they were piggybacking on someone's link profile.
Yeah, that's
to get ranked.
That's what they do. They're abusing canonical tags.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which I don't know, has that not recently been?
Google not recently clamped down on that? They've clamped down on it.
Yeah. And I know for a little while there it was like super abused.
Yeah.
Like there were so many people doing it. And all it really did was make, iGaming SERPs messier. In terms of the strangest thing I've seen, that is a tough one. I have this weird thing. It's probably a really unpopular opinion, but I find emojis in titles and descriptions really weird. It bugs me out. I don't like it. It's kind of
tacky to me.
It looks tacky as fuck.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's amazingly common in iGaming. I know. I mean, you could argue it works,
True.
Maybe it's just that kind of thing of it's eye-catching and it kind of draws you to the search result, but it's easy for me to say, I think it looks tacky and I don't like it, but really, if it works, then I guess it works, but...
We don't use it very often. It's not something we would
but that's my stubbornness being like, no, we're not going to use that.
If you saw me sending that to someone, you'd be like, no.
Absolutely not. Get that tacky shit off my page.
It is tacky. I don't know if it's controversial to say, there's a lot of tackiness in the industry already with a lot of the kind of...
No, there is.
Imagery and like, So it just adds an extra layer to it, to be honest.
Yeah. It is that kind of industry. I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. But AI is obviously massive. We've mentioned it a lot already, but do you think it's made it easier or harder for what we do so far?
So like for our work in particular?
Yeah, like for your job as an SEO manager.
I think, to be honest, you'd have to say it's made it easier.
I know.
Now, that's not obviously to say that you can just generate stuff and go with that. Absolutely not. Where it has made it a lot easier and it's really aided us, again, not even just for iGaming, for any industry, if you like. Say, for example, you're trying to optimize a dentist's website.
Yeah.
We're not dentists. So when it comes to writing about content, the honest answer is we don't really know that much. Now, the easy solution would be to contact the client and say, hey, can you write this great blog post about teeth whitening?
Yeah.
Then throw it over to me and I'll optimize it for you and we'll chuck it on the site.
Yeah.
That's the easy thing to say. But the reality is the clients don't have the fucking time.
No, they really don't.
I think a lot of them would probably tell you to bugger off.
Totally.
So in that sense, it is a good aid. It's good for giving you ideas.
Drafts
For content. And to be honest, the same applies in iGaming. You know, it's the same rules, really. As I said before, I'm not a big gambler. I'm not super clued up on, obviously I'm clued up on SEO. I'm not super clued up on gambling as a niche.
Yeah, like the language and the term.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, so you know, like content writing tools, if you like, can definitely give you, can kind of point you in the right direction.
That's another one.
Oh, here we go again. Can point in the right direction. They can give you some good ideas to start with.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, people need to get over this theory that you can just generate whatever you want and chuck it on your site and get results.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry to break it to you, but Google is way too smart for that now. It's going to see straight through that. And I can't, you know, I could go down a rabbit hole with this, but I have, you know, literally written prompts for AI that are, you know, pages long.
Yeah.
And that's because you have to train these things hard to, you know, say you cannot use this wording, this language. It's just like
type stuff.
Obvious patterns, you know, that are just Google's just going to take one look at it and chuck it. You
totally.
Just ignore it entirely. So coming back to your question, I would say overall it's made it easier. There are just things that you have to look out for. Yeah.
It's not to use it as like the sort of final thing. It's more like an aid to do things that we want to do, but on scale that we just don't have the time to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way to think about it is like before AI tools came along, if you wanted to write content, you would have to spend.
I remember.
You'd either have to spend hours, maybe even days researching the topic, you know, or you'd have to, as I say, reach out to the client and get ideas from them. So you could say that it's kind of taken away a few hurdles, if you like.
Totally. Yeah. So obviously, you talk about AI making it easier. What are the kind of tools then that you deal with day to day?
So to be honest, the only two I personally use are ChatGPT and Claude. Claude is, I would say, stronger probably for content writing, as long as you give it the right instructions. It can obviously, it's obviously very good at using tools as well. I'm not sure if that's even something you can do with ChatGPT. I don't really know, but I know that with Claude, it has a feature that, you know, you can give it access to, whether it's like your ranking tools or even something like Google Search Console. And if you give it the right instructions, it can pull all that data for you. So those are the two that I mainly, I mean, ChatGPT is probably more, I would say, for general research. So if I want to know something about a specific topic, you know, whether it's like blackjack or roulette or something, you know, if you're talking casino specific, it's quite good for that. But I would say if you want, say, AI to generate some pieces of content, then probably Claude is the better option. Or that's what I've found personally.
I like the way that someone we work with who's like very experienced in SEO and has a very particular way of like saying metaphors and things for stuff. He said that using them in combination is great, as in treat ChatGPT as the sketch artist and then Claude as the like color artist. So creating a draft of text and then making it more like brand tone, the right style, etc. with Claude. So like using them together as if you're like an animator, basically. The metaphor was that you're an animator. Yeah,
you can definitely use both in conjunction. The issue I have with that is that these things obviously have stored memory.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, for example, my ChatGPT, if you like, is very clued up on iGaming, sports books, casinos. It has all the memory of stuff that it's done before.
True.
So as soon as you pass that over to another AI tool, you have to kind of remind it of everything.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way to get them to work together. Get ChatGPT's
like
talk
AIception.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that would be scary. I don't like the idea of that. What are people getting wrong about AI in SEO?
I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but I think it comes back to that thing that it can just do everything.
Yeah.
Which it can't, you know. As smart as AI is getting, and I mean, I don't know where it's going to eventually get to.
No.
But in terms of where we're at just now, it still requires the human expert knowledge to actually give it the right instructions and do the right things.
Sense check it. There's a lot of
Yeah.
hallucination goes on.
Yeah. I think there's too many. I think there's a lot of people out there just now who think that AI can just do all your SEO for you. And it's just not the case.
No.
There's too much to SEO. There's too many different little nitty gritty things that you have to try and get right. 100%. Whether it's like technical stuff or content related things, there's too much to it so that, AI can't handle the whole thing.
It's quite like a kind of controversial way of putting it, but like, do you think AI in terms of making content is making us more productive or producing more noise? As in like garbage? I mean, that's quite a leading question because I'd say that it's more garbage, to be honest, a lot of it, because it can only repeat what's already out there. It's not like creating original human thoughts or perspectives. It's like a regurgitation of all information out there, so it could quite quickly become garbage that it's putting out on the internet.
Yeah, it could do. I mean, I think the important thing to remember is that all it's really doing is fetching what's already out there.
Exactly, yeah.
So in terms of, what was your question? So do you think it's made...
Are we becoming more productive with it, or is it just producing more noise into the ether, or is it a place in between, I guess?
I'm not sure. I think it just depends how you use it, really. I mean... that relates a lot to what I always stand by in SEO, and I remind myself of this basically every single day, is that whatever you're trying to rank for, whatever you're writing for, ultimately it has to be helpful. Totally. So you're writing things that are helping the user and are what the user's actually searching for. If you just generate something in 5 minutes with AI and publish it out there, that's not going to achieve that. It's always going to require your own input and your own thoughts and your own ideas to actually make things helpful for the user. So
makes total sense. Obviously we've dealt with a lot of different clients over different countries and different levels of competitiveness, and I'd like to hear what your perception is of like the biggest win we've ever had in the iGaming space. Is there one that comes to your brain just from saying that?
Yeah, I mean,
there's too many to...
Yeah, we work with a online casino and sportsbook in a very competitive market. And I guess you could say in the span of how many years? Maybe like 2 or 3 years or something. We've basically gone from ranking for super long tail, lower volume keywords to now ranking for big hitters, slots, online casino, sports betting,
soccer
betting, all the really big stuff, and as long as it's taken, seeing results like that is hugely rewarding.
Totally.
And it's, I think, again, just because of how competitive a market is that specific site is in, it makes it more satisfying. It's always quite, I mean, even for as long as I've been in the industry, it is always quite surreal when you Google a keyword that's competitive as that and you see your site up there, in the top 3 or top 5 positions. It really does give you that feeling of like, wow, we actually fucking nailed it.
Know what we're doing.
Yeah. So
yeah, it is pretty cool. It kind of makes it all worth it, as you say, because every day it can definitely feel like you're taking 2 steps back a lot of the time with ranking fluctuations and evolving with algorithm updates and everything. But put exactly what you said, not doing cheap kind of like quick wins, taking a more sustainable long-term approach sets us up better, I would say.
Yeah.
In competitive markets. So looking ahead at the future of iGaming SEO, do you think it will look the same in 5 years, or?
I think that's probably, honestly, it's an impossible question to answer.
I know.
We're in a situation now where I couldn't even probably tell you what it's going to look like in a few months.
No.
I mean,
anyone
things are
that could is lying as well.
Yeah, things are changing so rapidly. I mean, in terms of what it's going to look like in the next 5 years, who knows?
Who knows?
Sometimes I'm scared to think about it.
I know.
Things are just changing so rapidly that you could be looking at a completely different search landscape, if you like. I mean, AI is going to get bigger. Everyone knows that. But a world without Google seems quite hard to imagine. So
yeah, never say never, though, I guess.
I don't think your big search engines are going anywhere soon.
No.
You know, SEO is still going to be a thing in 5 years. It's just going to be a case of what's involved in it, really.
Very, very true. Do you think that AI is changing like how people actually search, like versus how?
Yeah,
they
for
did?
sure,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at an industry like iGaming, you could argue it's maybe not changed quite as much. I think what AI has definitely affected more are informational websites. So sites that could win a click from someone doing a quick informational search like a question. Now that's harder for them because AI overviews are going to give you your result instantly, or there's a high chance of that at least. I think what we see in iGaming just now, it comes back to that thing of good SEO is good GEO.
Yeah.
So if you do your SEO right, so optimizing your, slot game pages, game categories, or generic category pages, if your site is well optimized, then you have a high chance of appearing in AI overviews.
Totally.
Google's going to pick you up somewhere, I would say. So I would say that just now, for iGaming specifically, no, not really.
No.
No.
Do you want to do a quick fire round?
Absolutely. Fire away.
So I'll do a quick fire round now where you have to obviously say what comes to mind. No nuance, black and white, just like the world is right now.
Straight back at you. Okay, shoot.
Most overrated SEO metric.
Yeah. Impressions is a tough one. I think for impressions, you're obviously looking at Search Console data, which, as people know, is quite heavily sampled.
Yeah, true.
That is good for guidance.
Yeah.
Maybe don't take it
as Bible.
As Bible as that. Maybe take it with a slight pinch of salt.
It shows if things are moving in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah. Show that upwards graph,
Totally. What's the most underrated SEO metric?
SEO metric or?
Oh yeah, that's a different question. I was going to say one though.
Okay, shoot.
My most underrated SEO metric's probably like time spent on the site.
Engagement time.
Engagement time, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's all and well that we're getting people on the site, but it depends on like what industry you're in, what your content's about, what you're wanting someone to do on the page. Obviously, reporting to a client that last year people were bouncing off your site, even though we got maybe like the same level of users, but then this year they're spending like 2+ minutes on the site. That is a way underrated thing to tell the client about, that maybe a lot of people wouldn't report sort of off the cuff.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. I mean, I think things like engagement time and bounce rate are massive. And I think when you're maybe new to SEO or you're trying to get your head over what's involved in it, it comes back to this thing we talk about a lot, doesn't it? Which is like step one of SEO is actually ranking the site.
Yeah, like a flow diagram.
Step two is getting people on the site. And then step three is getting people to engage with the site and convert.
Which is very hard.
And I think a lot of people probably fall at the third hurdle.
Yeah.
So I think looking at things like engagement time, making sure that people are spending as much time as you'd like them to, making sure that they're performing the activities that you want them to, clicking the right buttons, scrolling to the right places, that's all super important.
Absolutely.
I think one SEO activity, if you like, that I think is probably quite underrated. Honestly, I'd probably say maybe something like schema code.
Yeah,
I've always thought that. I mean, you could argue that it's maybe something that's more important for maybe smaller local businesses, but I still think it has a place in bigger industries and more competitive online spaces, I would say.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's like, I've always felt like it's a high reward for minimal effort.
Yeah, totally.
You're basically just adding super basic HTML code to your website, but at the same time, it's a great way of telling Google as much about your site as possible, whether it's like information about the site as a whole, whether it's for a specific service, whether it's for a specific game even, or like a casino category page or a sports category page. I think people don't really realize how in depth you can go with schema code.
Yeah, there's so many different types.
There's a lot of different types, some very, very specific. So I guess if someone came up to me and asked me for one simple piece of SEO advice, I would say utilize that more.
That's a good one, Alan. You can even influence what it looks like in a SERP, like add star ratings and things like that.
That's basically the whole point of it. It adds more. What's the best way to put it? It basically adds more information to your search result. That's all helpful for the user.
Yeah.
So obviously, the most basic example is probably adding like a price for a product. So if you have a product page, you want to make sure you're adding schema that tells the user how much it is, or like the price range if you want.
I like the idea as well of adding like your socials if it's an like organization type schema, because that's important now for like clearly showing Google what your official accounts are in terms of your entity and your footprint. It's another way of like forcing it to see which ones are yours, because you might have similar brand name socials. It's just clarity, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess going back to iGaming, you'd probably want to use it for things like, I guess a good example is, so if you have a slot game, obviously, your kind of metrics like RTP and whatnot, they are obviously, that's obviously something that changes a lot per slot game. Yeah. So you can add very specific metrics to each game, and that's all kind of like like winning ranges and like return to player stats. That's all the stuff that people who are looking for slot games are actually want. That's what they want to know. So the more information you can give them, the better.
That's all very helpful advice for sure. I mean, that wasn't a quick fire.
Yeah.
That was very nuanced.
We're not being very quick here.
No. Links or content? Controversial?
Both. I know that's a really shitty answer, but it has to be both. Yeah. You can't just say one or the other, especially in iGaming, for God's sake.
No, absolutely not.
I would say, okay, if I can put it one way, I would say content short game, links long game.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Google or AI?
Google.
Yeah, the overlord.
Yeah. Yes.
Our ultimate boss.
Lord and savior.
The reason we're here. Casino or sportsbook?
For me personally, casino.
Yeah, you're more involved in.
Yeah, the thing is, if you want to talk about content specifically, honestly, sports is 100% harder.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the reason why is because it's time sensitive.
True.
So if you're trying to rank, put it this way, if I was just tasked with ranking an online casino, I think, it's never going to be easy. It's always difficult, but I think you would probably have from a content angle, I think you'd always have an easier time probably trying to rank a casino than you would trying to rank a sportsbook.
Yeah.
Mainly because, like, look at the World Cup coming up. If there's a big game coming up and you want to rank a page and get as much traffic on that page as possible, you've got like a 4 or 5 day window to do that.
So
maybe not
window.
even. Yeah. And think about it. You have to, in that time frame, you have to make sure you've created content, optimized it, put it on the page, index the page, rank the page.
Even harder now.
Like, if you actually want to try and get consistent traffic from sporting events, it's fucking difficult.
Totally.
And it's like there's so much planning in place. You really have to plan, for one-off events, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Take something like, I don't know, Wimbledon, for example. Everyone knows Wimbledon is in July.
So you can plan ahead.
It is in July, isn't it? I better not get that wrong. That's embarrassing. I've got that wrong. Sure. But it's, it happens at a specific time. So you're like, okay, I can create content for that time frame. But for something like a World Cup final, you don't know who's going to be playing in that cup final. You have to, be on your game, pardon the pun, and know who's playing so you can tailor your content for that. It's really, really difficult.
You have to be on the ball.
For something like casino, you've got There's more. It's more relaxed, you could say. I mean, like for casino, you're writing about, a topic that's not really changing that much.
True.
So it's not quite as time sensitive. Put it that way.
One thing every SEO person should stop doing.
I would probably say building low quality backlinks. I'd say something like that. I think it's becoming more common knowledge now that links is it's not a numbers game.
Nah. Quality over quantity.
It used to be back in ye olden times of SEO, as Andy would tell you. Yeah. He told me a lot. And I actually like listening to it because it is interesting.
Yeah,
but, I think back in the day, it was like, they have more links than you, so I'm going to rank them higher than you. Whereas now it's like, it's just not the case.
At best, they're going to get overlooked, and at worst, they're going to kind of maybe harm you a little bit.
Yeah. It's like
depending on the scale of it.
The way I always look at it is like, if you go ahead and if you spend a day building shitty links to your site, it's not even so much that Google will punish you for it. It's more just that you're wasting your time because it's not going to look at them anyway. So you've basically just spent a whole day doing nothing.
Agreed.
It's always quality over quantity.
Agreed. Yeah. Final quick fire. One thing every client should understand. It
takes time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just the truth. It takes time, comes back to what I said at the very, very beginning of the podcast.
Sandwiches the conversation nicely back to the start.
It's just like that thing of, you're not only investing your money, you're investing your time.
I know.
So you have to understand that, especially if you're in iGaming and you're trying to rank for say a competitive term in a really, really competitive market. It's something that you have to just trust the process, and invest your time properly in it. But you will see results eventually.
Maybe. It depends.
we promise. We promise.
No promises made. But yeah, it's been a good, insightful conversation. I feel like we've covered a lot of really useful stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And if anyone has any ideas for us and what to talk about next, you can always comment or reach out to us. But yeah, like and subscribe the episode, the channel, and thanks for listening if you've made it this far.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.